Welcome. Welcome to the journey with Hamptonio. At this time, I want to introduce a segment of my channel that I call On the Trail with Hamptonio. This is a time where I get a chance to maybe rant a little bit and talk about some things that might be current events or something that I ran into that I think is important for us to share to try to keep us on our journey and and possibly be thought provoking and bring up some time for dialogue and just to make us stop and think for a minute. And so I've been thinking about how I wanted to come to you guys, in my first second segment of On the Trail. And like I said, these will be like 10-minute hits, 5-minute hits, whatever's on my mind at that particular time that I think is maybe important to discuss, or some current events or something I've seen and witnessed, just to give us some thought provoking discussion and topics to talk about. So I was always wondering what I was going to talk about. I would jot down a few things that I might wanted to say, but my schedule is so busy, so I don't get a chance a lot to sit down and really come to you. So, what's in the news now? This whole Kyrie and Kanye West stuff. First, I would like to say that I come to you, unfortunately, with my first segment, kind of despondent and disappointed and just really at a state of just confusion and just lost for words to a certain degree, because it shows to me again where black folks at, or where the black community is at during times like this. I mean, cultural unity is so important. It's so important. And it's a necessary, and it could be the answer to so many of our problems if we just were, were culturally sound. That would give you strength. Like I would say, we wore out the word black community. Let's start calling ourselves the black nation. It brings forth power and strength, and you and it feeds on us working together as a people, rather than a community. Community could be community of anything, community of dolphins, fish. It don't matter. A community, but a nation brings forth strength, and it ties in, you know, brothers and sisters on the African continent and the diaspora, and it kind of makes you want to work in harmony and with others. Like Dr. Claude Anderson would say, quit looking at race as a color and look at it as a competition, because Hispanics is trying to get as much as they can for that group. The Arabs is trying to get as much as they can for their group. The Jews is trying to get as much as they can for their group. Nothing wrong with that. But it only comes to a problem when black folks, because we look at it all individually, separate. And that's why we can't get a foot on nothing. I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of being on the bottom of the totem pole on everything. The laughing stock for everybody's jokes. And if you knew anything about yourself, all of them come from you. You taught everybody. You built this country. And your seed is the strongest seed on the planet. You wasn't waiting for the Europeans to come in and give you civilization. You created it. And it makes me wonder so much how people would marvel the things that went over in Africa and the pyramids and things like that. And scientifically, we still ponder and wondering how those people built those pyramids. And you got folks jockeying, trying to claim their origin over there. When this, when the Egyptian people or Kemetic people told you themselves who they were. They were black folks. That's how marvelous it is. Folks want to claim that. So I'm saying that to say we got a lot to be proud of. But because of what has happened to us consciously and with our mindset, that has been a overt and covert plan to take over our mind and our consciousness, we find ourselves where we at right now. So I don't know about you guys. Like I said, I'm tired of that. And everybody know the truth, but won't say anything. Aren't you tired of being in a position that anybody can do anything they want to do to you and there's no consequences to be paid? Look at the LGBT community, how they just tend to step right over black folks' concerns and needs. You can't say a word about them either. See, black folks can do, people can do and say anything for the most part about black folks, where they were until we start saying a little bit, you know, saying that that's racial, and you see today that you have different people in government still saying things about black folks and getting a slap on the hand at times. But the only reason folks are allowed to do that, and I'm right back at it, because you're not culturally unified. You keep working and operating separately, you're going to continue to be misused. Not a Kyrie and Irving thing. It just goes to show you that you don't have no power. And you're in a position of weakness. And don't have to be. Because you got all the resources and all the talent. But you've been lured to sleep and in a corner somewhere and, and being told to shut up, sit back, and be quiet and accept what I give you. We're not even in the power to put our own messages out there. Like this platform, you got to be careful what you say. So defend folks who's running things. Aren't you tired of being in that position? Don't that make you a little angry? I don't know about you, that I am. Now they supposed to say some. Well, I don't think Kyrie said anything that was so derogatory. I think he posted a video, a documentary. Brother Kyrie said some things, expressing how he felt about something. But guess what, though? Just for a thought. How about those white supremacists? They say things all the time, don't they? And I even was told that old Mr. Trump said some things that was derogatory that one would consider anti-Semitic. What happened to them? I believe those white supremacists, almost in every speech they talk, they mention something that is anti-Semitic. What's happened with them? That's just again for something for you to think about. And being in a position like that, you might believe or don't believe, with or not with Kyrie Irving, but you should be at least about understanding and getting up from under people who have power over you. This would be a perfect time for a boycott. Just how you feel about it. It's about fairness. It's about right. Why would people have a problem with somebody wanting to be independent and doing your own thing? Is something wrong with that? Is that like a bad word? When a black person start talking about independence and having their own and not being dependent on nobody, doing your own thing, how come some people equate that to being uh, racist or being you're militant and all those things? They want to push those type of words on you because they want you to stay right where you are, make you feel bad, put you in the public forum out there, crucify you, so you stay in your place. Well, everybody else is taking care of their babies, taking care of their community, moving ahead, moving forward, and we stuck right here. And most of us is comfortable. Case in point example on how we are mentally ill and we as men has been punctified. Let me tell you what. That you sit here, well, we will sit up here and let folks come in our community, which we talk about all the time, but we're not doing anything about it. Take all of our resources out of it and be perfectly fine with that. No other culture that I know of would allow that to happen. Anywhere you go, you got to play the house man. How can you not pay the house man? If our culture or our people ourselves cannot provide certain goods and services, and you have to let somebody else come into your community to do so, guess what? You have to pay homage there. And then you got all these groups around here trying to get funding for our babies so we can take care of them. Parenting classes, trades classes. I heard so many great ideas that has went unfunded. It don't have to be that way. But we allow these family dollars, these Dollar Generals, and other Arab ethnic groups come in and do business in our community and only pay homage to the politicians in that area. How long are we going to allow that to happen? You see, we've been punctified and satisfied. I am so disappointed. If it were not for the love of my people, I'd just shut everything down that I'm doing and just worry about myself. But what if people like Michael X, Martin Luther King, and the like thought about that and did the same? They put their lives on the line and died for us to have some kind of dignity about ourselves, to be included into this equation. And we still begging to sit at the table. And it ain't no mystery that most of the Negroes that's in these positions is going along with the program. They don't want no outspoken person to come in there and talk about anything. Those ones who keep their mouth shut and keep moving and grooving the way things are, ain't no threat. They ain't gonna have nobody strong and confident in who they are and spreading their culture and talking about culture unity about anything. Brother Colin, Cabinet, hey, I admire the brother for taking that. I was been waiting for 20 years for somebody who have some real fame and fortune to come out there and tell the truth about something. That's to let you know how tight-lipped you are, how much of a doggone gag order that they have on you. You can't say nothing. And black folks still getting in all kind of bad contractual deals, being used and abused. And we have our talented babies coming out of high school and putting them into the professional world, unknowledgeable about anything to be taken advantage out there and feed other folks' families. And they don't know anything about their own community and doing anything. And each one of those talented brothers or sisters is feeding about five or six of somebody else's families and barely reach back and do anything for theirs. Crazy. Folks are comfortable with us. They are comfortable with us because we still having debates about who we are and where we come from. Stupid stuff. It's amazing. You know, some want to call us Native Americans here. Now we having debates about that and the Africans and all this. What does it matter? We was the first race. We was all over the place. Anywhere you go, almost on this planet, you go back far enough, you're gonna have to see some blackness there. Yeah, you can claim the whole thing if you want. But right now, Africa is just prime for us. That's all. All the natural research you see, everybody running there. Natural see natural resources there. Like one of my good brothers, Dr. Whitaker said, we may have the dollars and cents and some of the education, which a lot of is miseducation, but we lack the culture. They have the culture and lack the resources. So that's a perfect match. If we ever got our heads together, we both are getting played. The Africans are getting played and we getting played. There's a change. There's something that's upon the rise, and it's working. It's coming. It's slow but sure. It's coming. And who knows? All the chatter is going on right now. It's causing a lot to study, to research, and a lot of things are coming out. A lot of truths. Our ancestor talks about that. They predicted and talked about it's going to be a time where the truth is going to be unveiled, and a lot of information is going to be out there. That's why we're having this critical race theory piece. The truth is coming out, and truth won't be denied, and it's coming out. And we got the nerve to call this a Christian nation, and all the horrible atrocities that has been happening to people and mankind. The folks suffering. Only a small group got all the money, and everybody else is suffering. And rich folks manipulating legislation. It's crazy. All the information coming out. There's probably so many things that been done to black folks that is still hidden. It probably blow your mind. Oscarville, Georgia, Lake Lanier. There was a city. They covered up Oscarville with Lake Lanier, buried the whole city like Black Wall Street. There's plenty of those all over this country. And a lot of times you don't know nothing about it. And then you want to argue about reparations. And you built the country, and you still got folks hesitant in righting some of the wrongs. Okay, Christian nation. We fund a whole lot of countries. And then the thing that gets me, you got some black folks out there talking about, oh, black folks got a handout. We doing this, and they on that same bandwagon. We victims. Why y'all say we victims? We are victims. We are victims. And the playing field is not level. They do owe us. There's no doubt. But we still having this discussion. How long did it take for a people to rebuild themselves when you steal all their land? You kill all their leaders. How far does that set a people back? How far does it set a people back? And then the foreigners have nerves to come over there, foreigners, to look down their nose at black folks and don't know our story and wonder why we should be in a better place financially. If black folks had a piece of all the inventions and all the things that we've done for this country, we'd be the most prominent immigrant in this country and in the world if they was fair and did the right thing. So don't give me that, pull yourself by your own bootstraps crap. The conscious game is to dangle the carrot at a few, let a few be successful. That is not a threat, okay? And then so it makes everybody else like, well, wow, look at them, they made it. Maybe if I work a little harder, maybe it's my fault. No, brother, they only gonna let so many in the door. That's the way it goes. And your sisters need to understand too. They're gonna let you in the door. It's all about divide and conquer. What's the African proverb? The ruin of a nation begins the homes of its people. So they get y'all thinking on your high horse, and it's all about separatism. Keeping the man or keeping that whole universal nucleus not together. Male, female. That's a unit. That's spiritual. That's holy. You break that up, you don't have to worry about you doing nothing. So you know threat, he'll put you in the office right next to him because you're worrying about things and not opening the door for the brother that he's keeping out. See, that's the game that's been played on you. And then I don't need nobody. I can do this, that, and other. So it's all a game of dividing. We are falling for every one of the trick plays that they've been playing on this for several hundred years. We should understand the game and know the game by now. But we so caught up in things. Dr. Amos Wilson said, "What? Change your value system. He loses power over you." We got to have all this bull crap. And he come at you every day, marketing this bull crap to you that you got to have, and we fall right for it every time. And that's how he has power over your behind. Like in Rome, give him pompous and circumstance. Entertain them and feed the people. Keep them quiet. Same, same tactics. America reached out and brought people over from Germany to help with this mind control piece and learning how to keep you under control. Our educational system, Horace Mann learned from Germans on how to control the people. A whole educational system is set up on mind control and keeping you obedient. It's it's a trip. And all these folks with all these doggone money, we can't even own our own networks to tell our own stories. We can't control none of the curriculum in our schools for the most part. There are some out there, but for the most part, we don't have a say so. Our kids need something different from other kids. Their plight is not our plight. When you start thinking about epigenetics and things like that that was been passed on, you can't give them, you can't give our kids the same standard that you give somebody else. Two different people. They need two different things. Even when they study in the same curriculum, one is looking at it different than the other. One is looking at that same information at a subservient role. The other one is looking at it as a master role. They looking at running things because that's what they see all the time. We got a problem, a serious problem. This could be an opportunity for us to pull together and do something. Aren't you scared of folks having you by the gonads? Aren't you tired of that? Aren't you tired of that? Or you just bow your head and tuck your tail between your legs and just go along and take it? I guess so. Just go along with the program. We want to keep believing in Santa Claus because we make excuses for that because we give all our money to the system. Where's tradition? When we gonna start operating in truth? The hell with tradition if it's not working in our best interest. When we gonna start? You got to start somewhere. Tradition. That's why folks ain't afraid of you. That's why folks can do you any kind of way. They slap you in the mouth and tell you to go sit your behind in the corner. Back to those people in our community. We need those funding. Have those family dollars and all them drop dollars, grant dollars in our community so we can uh, do some things that is necessary in our community to help our kids and whatever else we may need. Make them pay some money. Make them drop some money. Make them pay the house man that is in that community. You can come in their community and take the resources out, not give back to the community. Then you got some of them on there have nerve to treat you like dogs, take your money and treat you like dogs. So how can somebody respect you that you sit back there and take that and then disrespect our women, put them in the little stores and have them working, hitting all on them, making them feel like high class streetwalkers, playing with them, misusing our women, and we go along for that. Look how far look where we at. And then we let them promote, let folks promote all that craziness in our community, all that rap music that degrade us totally. Ain't nobody got no major complaints. And then where's the fight for that? Where's the boycott for that? Where's that at? Everybody sit back and allow them to bring all that degrading stuff out about black folks. Everybody beat up on the black folk. And some of us is okay to continue with that type of a behavior being placed back on us. We okay with that. I just got mine. I ain't worried about them. You can't go up against big boys, the big boys. You okay with that? So we just lay down. And then when you do have a black person step up and say something and be a whistleblower about something, the community don't wrap themselves around. We leave them out there to fend for themselves. Look at those poll workers somewhere in the South getting threats. Nobody came to support them or back them. They let them get threats and call them and threaten their family and do all of that. And we sit back and let them people fend for themselves and protect themselves. That's why folks is able to do what they do to us, because we sit up there and when somebody do have the courage to say something and do something, we don't surround ourselves with them and say, you're not going to treat them like that. You're not going to do them like that. Ain't nobody worry about your behind. We sit up here and kill each other and big bad and you better respect me, this, that. Do that, Negro. Protect that, Negro. Since you want to be all that bad, why how you letting somebody else come in your neighborhood and dog you out like that, Negro, with your bad self? Consciousness. All screwed up. Values in the wrong place. And we sit up here and let religion keep us all divided. Ain't gonna do nothing. That's the biggest game ever played. Everybody debating about that. Let's get on the same cause that we all can understand, that we're all getting our behind with. What about that? And we got kids and everything else to fend for. We can all agree on that. We can have those little petty debates and arguments later on. Let's build something. Let's put some institutions together. Let's put an economic force together. Let's put a boycott together and demand something. A banking system, something. But guess what? Oh, that's right. A Muslim is never going to work with a Jehovah Witness. A Christian is never going to work with a Hebrew Israelite. When are we going to learn? So, family, I am so sorry for taking this much time. I just wanted to come at you with a little hit. I'm just so despondent and so disturbed about some of the things that I'm hearing, and from some other Negroes as well. Just it's sad. It really is. It's sad, and I didn't mean to hold you this long. Hope you got something out of what I said, and maybe it was just for me to get some stuff off my chest. Maybe I just go and shut up and be quiet and go along with the flow. I don't know. Maybe I just don't want to take the red or the blue pill right now and go to sleep. I don't think I want to, you know, deal with the matrix like that. Maybe. So again, look forward to some more of my comments of on the trail. All you folks, stay on the journey. Stay on the journey with me. We're gonna be having some exciting conversations, some power conversations, and some really enlightening conversations to really keep us on this journey, you know, to understanding and taking the shackles off our consciousness. So thank you again for this very first version of On the Trail with Hamptonio. Look forward to more to come. Thank you.